Doing? I'm Pastor Fred. This is the Follow Through. You remember that old advice that nothing good ever happens after midnight? I think it's so true. I've told my kids, and I probably even roll it back to 11. Nothing good ever happens after 11. Think about it. That's when you should be asleep. Your body is wired that way. I came across some scientific data online that said, at night, like especially after midnight and 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, your brain just doesn't function the way it's supposed to, and you'll make your worst decisions during those moments. And that's why people get drunk. That's why they make these really bad choices because your brain is supposed to be asleep, not making critical, life-altering, decisions. That's not how we were designed. We were designed that when it gets dark, we go to sleep. When the sun comes up, we get up and we get going. That's how the brain operates. And then when we try to do the opposite and say, no, I'm going to be up all night and I'm going to do all these other things, there's going to be a problem. Now, Paul here is talking about spiritually speaking, but it's true physically, and it all, I believe, connects together. 1 Thessalonians 5, we're going to look at 7 and 8. Paul says this. He says, for those who sleep, they sleep at night. And those who get drunk are drunk at night. Those are kind of evening activities. We've got a new phrase these days called day drinking, and it's just kind of highlights a major problem. You're in a rough time in your life, man. Things are out of control. If you're at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, you're just tying one on. Get some help, man, please. It's rough. So he says in verse 8, he says, but since we belong to the day, he says, let us be sober. Like we're God's children, we're loved by Him. We know what time it is. We're not in the dark in terms of how He loves us and how He's given His life for us, how He's coming back to bring us a new heavens and a new earth. So let's be sober, he says. Having put on, we got some armor for this battle that we're in. And again, you can't fight a battle if you're asleep. You can't fight a battle if you're drunk. Your mind is not going to be where it needs to be. So he says, put on this breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, to protect your brain, the hope of salvation, So armored up, awake, ready to go. That's where God wants us. That's how He wants us to live. Knowing that we're secure in His love, He's given us all this protection for our hearts, this faith that we need, this love that we need, this hope that we need. It's just huge. So the follow through today, man. Help share this. Let people know. Say, don't just wake up, man. Don't be drunk. Don't be he says, be sober, be awake, be vigilant, be there, be locked into what God is doing and how He loves you and has given you victory over death and the grave. Let's bring that to the people around us. And again, share this peace and this love that we have in Jesus. All right. Talk to you next time for another follow through.